Good afternoon. I'm John Perkins with your CHTV News Report. In local news, an Indiana human resources expert says this tough winter is giving a big boost to the telecommuting movement. Amber Crosby of Indianapolis-based That's Good HR says more Hoosier companies than ever are giving employees the option to work from home. Crosby says this even applies to temporary workers. She says some of their client firms are deciding that it's best to allow workers to stay at home and work during bad weather days. More and more companies are deciding that it's not cost-effective for employees to report for work 2 hours late after a storm or leave the office early due to impending bad weather. Crosby says workers can often be more productive if they spend that travel time simply working from home. News from the State House. Governor Pence is promising he won't jeopardize local budgets with reform of the business personal property tax. But he says he won't let up in his push to eliminate the tax. Mayors and county officials are skittish about tinkering with the tax because of a projected $600 million hit to local budgets, with another $400 million expected to shift to homeowners. Pence says he's talking with local officials about a range of options to address those concerns. He says he'd prefer some form of local solution to recoup that money, but isn't ruling out some form of state compensation. And now breaking, a CHTV crime watch. A man who robbed a Spencer County liquor store Wednesday afternoon remains on the loose. State police report a man wearing a ski mask armed with a gun robbed the North Side store in Chrisney. He displayed the gun and demanded money before leaving on foot. Police agencies searched the area but didn't find the suspect. From the White House, the president is expected to sign a new 5-year farm bill, which maintains huge subsidies for the nation's farmers. The Senate passed the compromise version of the bill yesterday on a 68-32 vote. Partisan disagreements had put the legislation on hold for most of the last 2 years. Changes were made to part of the bill which subsidizes some farmers, but opponents call the approach a bait and switch. They had hoped for cuts in that area. Cuts were made in the food stamp program. In national news, the FBI reports it rescued 16 juveniles forced into working as prostitutes during Super Bowl week. They were found in the New York City area. Some of the children had been reported as missing by their families. They ranged in age from 13 to 17. More than 50 adult women forced to work as prostitutes were also rescued, with several dozen pimps taken into custody. The victims came to the New York City area from 13 states. Sex workers often show up during major events like the Super Bowl. A Republican candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives says he was too harsh when he compared Hillary Clinton to the Antichrist. Ryan Zinke is running for Congress from Montana. He says he doesn't really think the former Secretary of State is the Antichrist, but he's still critical of her time heading the Department of State. He singles out the way she handled the attack on the U.S. consulate in Libya, which left 4 Americans dead. In the sports world, the Indiana Pacers own the best record in the NBA at 38-10. The blue and gold are off until tomorrow night when they welcome in the Portland Trail Blazers for a much-anticipated 7 p.m. tip. It was also announced today that Paul George will indeed participate in the slam dunk contest during All-Star Weekend. For CHTV News, I'm John Perkins.